Hello, it's Sunday morning and I spent all day yesterday, literally 8:30 till 4:30, coffee dyeing paper. And so I just wanted to show you a sampler of what I created in my little play. I did some cardstock. These were wedding invitation blanks. And they have like a pearly border around the edge. So I was hesitant to try them, but I love the way they turned out. And so that's like a thicker cardstock to begin with. And then the coffee dyeing gives them a little more body as well. So I got a good range of colors. I've got this in a set of 5 that I'm going to throw in my Etsy shop and see how they do. And then the same box of stuff from a thrift store, likely. Was some of the actual cards that you fold in half. They're already scored. And so I did 5 of those. I did more than 5, but I've got 5 set aside. I don't know if you can see that pearly iridescent strip around the edge, but it's beautiful. And it's just slightly subdued. It's still whitish, more white than the paper. It doesn't absorb the coffee the same way. And I do add baking soda to my coffee mixture, and I have pH test strips, so I make sure that it's neutral before I start dyeing, so that if you do purchase them from me, you don't have to worry about them being acidic, because coffee is acidic. And then there was a bunch of these ledger size, 11 by 17, I believe. Ledger paper. Actually, it's not. It's 15. It's more like 12 by 15. And it was the green ledger paper. So the top one, like what I did was I layered it up in a baking pan and put it in the oven. So the top sheet gets really dark. And I had them folded in the baking pan. So they've all got a good crease mark in there. I did iron these after, just to straighten them up, crisp them up. So you can see the spot where it was folded is a little darker. Gives them great character. And the lines stay. They've got little red lines and green lines to make up the ledger. So that was a good experiment. I hadn't done any like that before. So I've got a set of 5 of those to go in my Etsy shop as well. And I left the tabs where it was torn out of the book, because some people might want that, and if they don't, they can take it off. And then I crumpled some up with the method that I saw. I don't remember who did it. They were doing it with colors, like food coloring or something. And they just put it in the mixture and then crumpled it up and set it in the baking pan. So I did that with a bunch of them, 2 pans worth, and I put them in the oven. So the spots that were exposed in the crumpled up ball get darker. And then when they came out, they were kind of hard to uncrumple without breaking them. So I got quite a few torn sheets, which I'll keep and use for myself. But I found 10 good ones that can be put in my Etsy shop. And so I'm going to call this my, I'm not sure, crumpled paper or something like that. I'm usually pretty good at making up cool names for things. I'll think on it some more. But I just love the texture of them. I did iron these as well, but they're still quite textured. They're not flat. They're not 8.5 by 11 anymore because they're crumpled up still. I suppose you could re-wet them and iron them again or put it on steam or something, but I just wanted to get them flat for storage. So those turned out really cool. That's the first time I've done those. And then this polka dot paper I really love. And when I first did it, I have a vintage baking pan that has holes in it. And it sits over top of a baking dish, like a lasagna pan sort of thing. And I use it sometimes to cook my bacon, so it'll let the fat drain through to the bottom. but I clean it up really good before I do paper, and it gives you this cool polka dot pattern. Some sheets are dark, and even if they're dark, they're light on the other side. And you get just varying degrees of colors of polka dots. And I'm not really a polka dot person. Like, polka dots and stripes aren't my vibe, but I found this to be quite useful. I've used it in a few of my journals and projects and really liked it. But you can see the different colors that you get, and it can be really cute. You can add a cuteness level to your journal. So I've got 10 pages of that to go. And see, there's a part where it wasn't sitting right down on it. So they're not perfect by any means, but those ones weren't ripped or torn or anything. And then I've got 10 sheets of just my regular coffee dye. And this was a fairly light mixture, but it did go dark on the edges of a few of the pages. I do dry them in the oven. And then I don't usually iron them, but yesterday I did. I just set up my iron right in the kitchen where I was working and ironed a few in between. I set my timer for, I was doing it for 3 minutes each time, and then I set it for 5 minutes because I had some really wet stuff that just wasn't drying in 3 minutes. So you just kind of have to play around with it. It was very humid yesterday. That's why I was doing it, because it wasn't a nice day out. It was cooler. So I played. I love this one. You get all sorts of different designs, but these were just layered in a pan. I put it in the pan. I brushed the coffee on, put the next piece on dry, and then brush the top. Just keep layering them up. I will do a video one of these days. I just have to get my setup going in there in the kitchen for my camera. And then this one is another vintage cooling rack that I have that is quite textural. As you can see, the X in it that's underneath the grid, and then the grid shows through there. So you get some lights and darks. And I found that I could layer them up 3 or 4 high, and the top one would be lighter, but it would still have the grid on it. The ones right close to the grid would have a more dominant pattern. So I really like those. I think they're unique. I haven't seen paper like that on Etsy, so that's kind of why I thought I would list them, because they are, I think, a little unique. A lot of people are doing the lace, and I have done the lace. I couldn't find my stencils yesterday. I'm not sure where they got to. But I am going to try some stencils without putting it in the oven, of course. And then some green graph paper, which was 3-hole punched. So I left the holes on. You can see how it went dark on some of the corners. And I just love the mottled appearance. It's much lighter on the back, so that's great writing space. And this would make a great backdrop for some botanicals or birds or whatever you're doing. And so I just wanted to show you guys, and I'm going to post some pictures in the Facebook groups that I belong to and link the video once it's up on YouTube. So if anyone's interested in purchasing, you can go to my Etsy shop. If you are more interested in doing a swap, then we could talk. I do love doing swaps. It's one of my favorite things since I joined the Facebook groups that do them. I can spend $20 at the thrift store and get a lot of stuff, but I love the surprise of seeing what comes in the mail when you do a swap. It's like you're getting craft supplies for free, but you're really not. You're paying for shipping. Each person is paying for shipping, but you get something unique that you wouldn't likely have bought for yourself in a lot of cases, which is kind of, I think, what's fun about it. So that's my little quick video of my paper dyeing, coffee dyeing yesterday. And I encourage you to look in my Etsy shop, which is TDC Collections and Thistledew by Jag on Etsy, both. I'll have them linked in the description box if you want to check them out. And like, comment, share, subscribe. Most of all, thanks very much and have a great day.